So the biggest thing we did, Eric, which
right.
is why we didn't really have much of an intro contribution, is we went to Lexicon 2018 in Lexington, Kentucky. I can't. I'm out of breath. I had to use the restroom in the middle of the podcast, and now I'm out of breath. I am out of shape.
Run. You're running now, right?
I was running. I've got
one day a
multiple stairs to go through. It's one, but
you're running at the gym.
Oh, I am running. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because I'm so tired. Is why I was also winded.
Cool.
Not really winded,
We'll
but I couldn't have carry my normal radio voice.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so we went to Lexicon, and Matt, did you do yard work? Did I see that?
Yeah, that was Sunday though.
Oh, my cat is excited.
Lexicon was on Sunday.
Yeah, but after the weekend I had, the Saturday reason I didn't come was because I did work, but I had to change my wife's starter in the middle of a Kroger's parking lot.
Oh man,
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, so it was working kind of an emergency for something at work, and going and doing that. I didn't get home till I think between 4 and 5.
So that's probably good that you didn't come, because that would have been a fiasco, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's why I didn't come.
Oh, you knew you were gonna.
Knew about that beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I was changing a starter already.
Oh.
I just didn't know the wrench in the cog was she drove to the Kroger's and it wouldn't start. We knew it needed a new starter because it was going out.
Oh, you were prepared to do it at home.
We were going to do it anyways, but
Yeah.
it just changed the location on where we were doing it.
That's fair. Dang. Well, let's talk about what we did, Eric. So first off, one of the coolest things about Lexicon, I think, is the fact that they have the play-to-wins.
Yeah.
We're all about that. Although I think we did far less this year than we did last year,
We did. Yeah.
because we did literally every tournament in existence.
We
That's
did.
what it
We did
sounded like.
a few.
We mean a few. Okay, so here's the play-to-wins we played, though. We played Karuba. We played, or the card game. Yeah, the card game. Fabled Fruit, Laser Riders, New York Slice, Red Scare, Beta Bots, and Horde.
And probably more than that.
And
It feels like.
it feels like more than that, but those are the ones we finished. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Those are the ones we finished, because they're ones that we put into the app that we didn't finish because maybe we had like a tournament and stuff like that, so we had to cut it short. So those are they're not really hidden, but they're grayed out on my app, so I didn't write them down.
We played the shortest game ever. It was called Doodle Rush. It's like a 6-minute game.
I didn't even write that down.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't finish it.
We didn't finish it. It was the shortest game and we couldn't even finish it. We played 2 minutes.
It's 6
of the
minutes
6
long.
minutes.
you put down it's like Pictomania on the light version of Pictomania.
Right. Okay.
What is it you put down?
You get a card. It has, if I remember right, you get a card. It has like 6 things on it. You get 6 little tiles, and you have a minute to draw as much as you want on. It says apple and pencil and probably a little harder stuff. We went with like the purple side, which was harder.
I don't recommend it at first.
No, don't start that way. So you only have a minute to draw 6 different things, but you don't have to draw. You can draw up to 6. The ones that you don't want, you flip them over. Everybody's doing that. And then after that, you have a minute to look at everybody else's and guess it.
It's not turn-based.
It's not turn-based, right?
It's like go, flip.
And if you guess right, you get that tile. It gives you a point. It also gives them a point. You lose a point for every tile that you drew on that no one has guessed. You do that 3 times, and I think that's the end of the game. It's like 6 minutes.
We didn't know that the play-to-wins were needing to be turned back into the library.
Right.
And literally, once we finished one round, it's like, play-to-wins need to be turned back in. We're like, oh, well, never mind.
We thought we had 6 minutes. We didn't.
Right.
But so that was actually pretty fun.
No, yeah.
I liked it quite a bit, actually.
I wouldn't mind picking it up for, if we only have, 10 minutes, I guess. Bust it out.
Right.
Yeah. And it's chaotic, too, because you flip over the cards and you flip over the timer and everybody guesses. It's real time. I'm like, is that a dog? I'm like, ladder. And like everybody's yelling. So you have to listen to people calling what your cards are.
Right.
And guess on everybody
And guess
else's.
at everybody else's at the same time.
It's hectic.
Yeah.
And we only had 3 of us.
I think was it 5 players?
It might have been.
Either way,
Probably 3 to 5.
it's made by Brain Games, the people that do Ice Cool. Karuba the card game I thought was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
I like Karuba the board game better. Card game is literally draw 3 cards, take one, put it face down, everybody flips them over. Or what? One you discard and you play the other 2.
I didn't play this one with you.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
No.
I can barely remember it. It was the first game we played of the convention. I guess. Well,
I was out teaching
Pandemic. That's right.
I was teaching players how to play before they went, possibly went into a tournament or they just wanted to learn.
Yeah. So Karuba the card game, you got a 3-card hand. I believe you take 2 of them and you're going to play them. You flip them over. They have a value. Whoever plays the lowest value, I believe, has to discard one of their cards. Because it's the better ones, I guess. I don't know. And you're building like a 4x4 grid. And you're trying to get your guy. The cards have the printed dudes on them, the little explorers. They also have the printed temples. What are they? Pyramids or whatever.
Right.
And you have to be able to draw a line from them through a path to the color pyramid they're going to. And if they cross over any gold or silver, you get 2 or 1 bonus points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. It's basically Karuba in a very short period of time. It's okay. I mean, if it was like $7 or $8 for some reason, I would get it.
But I don't got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty fun. It's neat. But Karuba, the board game's already light enough. This is like taking it a step down. So, Fabled Fruit, we finally played that. This is one I was really excited about. Did you play this with us?
No, I kind of watched you for a little bit, but I had to go off and do something. I forgot what I was doing at that time.
What did you do, Eric? Did you play games with us? No, I'm just kidding.
I
I think you were ending the pandemic thing and coming to join us or something.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Fabled Fruit is kind of like a slight legacy element to it.
Right.
It's basically just campaign mode. You have these cards out in the middle of the table. You put your guy, your little meeple that represents your animal, on one of them. You do the action, or you try to complete the card. To complete it, you need like a certain layout of fabled fruits and stuff. Like you might need 3 pineapples and then a wild to complete this one card. There's a deck of cards you're drawing cards from. All those cards in the middle have different actions. So if I go to that one, I can't complete it to take it. There's multiple copies of it. You would do the top part, which would say something like, one of them was like a gamble, like you flip over like a press your luck style from the top of the deck, and you can say stop whenever after each card, but if you ever do a duplicate, you lose everything. Another one's like draw 2, keep 1 kind of deal, or somebody else has to give you 3 cards, and then among all your cards and the 3 cards they give you, you have to give them 3 cards back. Stuff like that. It's just little actions like that. You play until somebody completes 3 fruits or makes them into drink or whatever, which is all the backs of the cards in the middle. So if you have the 3 pineapples in the wild, I could be like, I'm going here, I play these, I take that card, put it face down in front of me. That's one of the 3 cards I need to win. And the idea is when you're finished with a game, you play another game, but you leave all the setup and you keep going through the decks. And there's like literally 5,000 cards. Not really, but
there was quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's like 65 different cards, and each one had like 3 copies or 4 copies. And every time a card gets removed from play and played in front of somebody, a new one comes in, and it'll stack on top of each other. But then when you don't have any more of that card, a new card will come in.
Right.
And you're supposed to keep playing like multiple games until you play through all of it. It was okay. I thought it was all right. It is recommended that you start in like the 30s for gamers. So it's very possible that we played an incredibly light game.
Right.
But it can get really crazy
as
later.
you go through. Right.
So I don't know. I might pick this up. It's super quick. We had conversations while we were playing it. I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it might have been too light. But after knowing that, it's worth checking out. Laser Riders. Eric, tell us about that.
Oh, okay. I'll try. Let's see. Laser Riders is kind of like Tron, and basically you started off by putting these little crystals, not crystals. Prisms?
Wait. Before we begin, have you seen anything about this game, Matt?
No.
Oh,
you should totally look at the picture of the box.
Yeah, the box looks awesome. It looks like 3 VHS tapes, kind of.
It's like buying a season of VHS tapes, and each box holds a player worth of stuff.
I guess it has 4 tapes in it. Because each segment is a player's pieces.
Well, look at that.
Doesn't that look super nostalgic?
Yeah.
It looks sweet. It's incredibly 80s. Everything about it's 80s. The artwork on the actual templates and stuff is like shiny and very like
It's a very shiny game.
yeah.
It looks pretty nice when it's out.
Well, we don't have to explain all the rules, but long story short, it's like playing X-Wing. When you move your guy, you leave the template behind and you keep leaving it behind. So it makes that big line like in Tron.
Kind of like Centipede.
Yeah, I like
The
Centipede.
game. Right. So you're going along and you don't want to cross your own path or your opponent's path. If you do, you explode and you have to start back from the center or from the end of the table. And you're basically trying to get, pass through
Three of them.
prisms. Mm-hmm.
Laser snake.
Yeah, it's Laser Snake. And then when you run into somebody else's path, you die and respawn. But then your entire line gets removed, and whatever you hit in behind gets removed from their line as well. So you can cut their line in half and things like that just to make it easier to move around.
Right.
You're going to hit each other.
Yeah.
You don't want to play on a massive table. I think it kind of recommends a 3x3, 3 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah, something like that.
So super fun. I actually kind of wish I would have won this game.
And then you have speeds or gears really. You could be on gear 5. You're gonna go first, but it's harder to turn and
Yeah, because you can only use certain templates of the number you're on or higher.
Right.
Or
oh no, that
no,
certain
it's
one.
just that number. Yeah.
Right.
So that was fun. We played New York Slice again. I'll probably end up buying this. I said this last year. Pretty cool.
Awesome pieces. They did a good job of production.
It looks like a pizza, Matt.
It does look like a pizza.
And your score sheets are little order sheets.
Okay, so apparently somebody gave that to me because I stepped out of the. What did I do? I went away at the end right before the scoring happened
Right.
to do something, to teach
a
somebody
game.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess either you or Jason handed me the score sheet so I can enter it into my app later. And I found it and I was like, what is this?
What did I order?
I don't remember eating. And then, like, literally, it took me like 30 seconds to realize it was a score pad. It's pretty funny. Red Scare is a game where it's like the typical resistance kind of games where like you got traitors and good guys trying to figure out who's on a team, whatever. But the interesting thing about it is like every other player gets a pair of red glasses that you can only decipher certain things on the card.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's solid blue.
Yep.
And if you can't identify what it is, your action, you want to hand it to people you might trust to identify it for you. And then you got to trade cards, and you're trying to basically when you cast your vote for those cards or whatever it's called, you're going to put them all face down in one pile, either a +2 or a negative, like it's plus points or minus points. But you want to make sure that they're all of the team you're not on. But you don't know who's on what team, so you're trying to get people to read you right. So you might be like, thanks, Matt. Next turn, Eric, will you decipher these for me? And you got to determine who's lying to you and things like that. So It was okay. Eric, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, I got in the roles pretty much and was like, I'm going to go hit this tournament up and pass on this game.
Yeah. It was all right. The glasses needed to be bigger because I could see people cheating a little bit with it. Because without the glasses, you can kind of just read the card.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the glasses are kind of like those thin.
Right.
So you almost have to like press them against your face to make sure you're not cheating, or always hold the cards at the right distance and stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise, other than production stuff, it was just an okay game.
Even using the glasses, it was kind of hard to make out some stuff.
My phone looks super cool though. Like I turned on my phone with these glasses on. I'm like,
Oh.
dude, it looks crazy. What was it? Oh, Beta Bots.
Beta Boss was all right.
I actually kind of like that game a lot.
Yeah.
It's you do a bidding to get one of the robots, and they have 4 stats, and then from then on you will bid on 4 parts come out, and you bid on those, and you get a part, and then you go on a mission, and the missions literally have this value or higher in one of the stats, but you can negotiate with each other to go on the mission together, and
you have
yeah.
to fist bump. It's like, me and you gonna go, man? All right, fist bump.
It's
We're in it
binding
together.
agreement.
Yeah.
Is a fist
Binding
bump.
agreement.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you bid on another part, and you go on another mission over and over until the game ends. It probably is a little longer than I think it should be.
Probably so. We didn't end up finishing the whole thing because we had to, like I said, go to another tournament. On this one, it was Pandemic Survival.
Yeah. But otherwise, that was pretty good. And then Horde, which Eric ended up winning.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's any good. We didn't finish that one either. it's one of those games where you play it once and you're supposed to play it 3 times and then add up all your scores.
Okay.
So we pretty much played the game because at that point you reset the entire thing like you just started.
Right.
Basically, there's a sleeping dragon in the middle represented by 3 cards, and then you put cards all the way around it. And then you take turns placing your guys on one of these cards. All these cards are face down. You roll a die and move your character left or right that many spaces, and you get to look at that card and decide if you want to take it into your hand or not. If you do, you replace it, but you get to see the one that you replaced it with off the top of the deck. Otherwise, you would burn that card, and the new card would come out. Or no, you get one off the top of the deck and then replace it as well. Or no, you put it back, but you get one off the top of the deck at random. The reason that matters is because one of your actions is to put cards from your hand onto the table. You're essentially, without going into a lot of rules, you're going to get a lot of negative points for anything in your hand. Some of it isn't worth negative points. It's just worth nothing. But there are no positive things for keeping in your hand, so you always want to get them out of your hand. So you don't want to randomly take things because you may get into a resource that you don't have a lot of. Because in order to put it on the table, you have to have 3 or more copies of it. So if I have like 2 emeralds and I'm looking for a 3rd emerald, I don't want to start collecting like obsidians or whatever they are. There's a little bit more to the game, but it seems okay. I just don't know how good it's actually going to be. I feel like that's a game that I'll need to play 3 or 4 times before I can really solidify my thought process. But it's cool that you got it though, because I did want to try to finish it at least once, or maybe play it again. Yeah. See what happens. Well, other than that, there's probably a couple more play to wins that we played that I did not write down, that we maybe not spend the most time on due to various reasons. But other than that, we played Food Chain Magnate.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Man, it's so deep.
Very, very deep.
That's what I've heard.
We started our game like 12:30 at night. That was
I don't recommend that.
Bad idea.
Right.
And you can actually we didn't do the process. There's like a beginner process on like how long do you want to make the game. You can make, like I forgot the symbols, but basically it's like 1 money sign, 2 money sign, or 3 money sign. Everybody puts it in the middle. And somehow that comes up to, how long we're going to play the game and how many stacks of cash we have to go through. So you're either making a smaller company, a mid-sized company, or like you're going all out and making a huge corporation, basically.
I didn't really get that stack of cash thing. Is the cash supposed to be hitting so you really don't know the amounts or something? I don't know.
No, when we played, the cash was on the table that we knew when we would break it.
True, but we used poker chips.
Right.
So, but my point being is that, like, why is that a thing? Why not just put all the cash for the entire game out there? I don't know.
That I don't know, yeah.
We didn't read the rules. We were just taught them. I was just curious. Otherwise, this is the game of I made a mistake, I lose.
Oh, yeah. Definitely if you're playing with veterans, you're going to get stomped. Definitely, your first game is you're going to learn a lot. Even after being taught the rules, there's still a lot of learning to do while you're playing. Yeah.
And mostly it's like, because you basically build this tableau. You know what it is? Easiest way to describe it. You buy cards every turn and you put them out. But you put them out like an org chart for a company, like an organization chart. So your management will, they don't.
It's really, you, the CEO is on top.
Yeah. And then the CEO says how many slots can be underneath of it. Kind of like the little, like, branching thing. Right. So you put characters there, but if the character has a special ability, that takes up that slot. But if you put like a supervisor or whatever, it'll give you, they don't do anything, but it'll give you more slots. And so you make this whole org chart in front of you every turn because you take everything back up other than your CEO, and next turn you put them back out. So you can have a lot more cards than what you can actually lay out. I don't think we got to that point because we're pretty, I don't know if it's efficient to do so or not, but because you're paying for things that are in your hand as well, I think.
We got to hire them. You got to hire them to put them in your hand. And then later you have to train them by playing a card. But if you train them, they have to be in your hand. So they increasingly get better at what they do.
It was really good. The only thing I'll say is I used to joke on how bad the artwork was because it's like clip art. It's just like kind of just basic. I didn't mind any of it other than the board. The board is literally the thing that I think drags it down for me. But all the artwork on the cards and stuff like that, it's minimalistic style, but it's like really nice.
It's good enough. to portray what you're doing and get the point across.
Yeah. But the actual map tiles, super basic, almost to like a laughable degree.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else seems to fit, though.
It does its job. It randomizes the board.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is pretty basic. I mean, the whole game has, like you said, minimalistic artwork. So you're gonna have to get past that, and but it's a nice meaty game underneath all that.
Very meaty. It's like
Yeah.
It's like a 12-course meal.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Fireball Island. The last actual game that we played, other than these tournaments, which we're going to get into, was Luxor. Travis from Queen Games was there. If you listen to our bonus episode, he was on the podcast for a short period of time. We played this one. He gave it to me as a review copy, and now we get to tell Matt all about it.
Yeah.
So we are kind of talking about it before the show, but I didn't want to get too deep. So basically, the game is like a spiral. You're going into this temple, I guess, like a Egyptian temple to loot it, and it's kind of like a spiral.
Mm-hmm.
So as you move your characters, they go closer and closer towards the middle. That's where you want to be. Once 2 meeples get there, it triggers the end game. Everybody gets an even amount of turns. The game ends. You get points for all kinds of stuff. As you're moving your guys around, you can collect the treasures as you step on the tile. Sometimes you might need 2 or 3 guys on the same tile in order to claim it, and then that's pretty much the game. I mean, all it is picking up tiles and getting points and trying to get further in. The big thing about it, though, is the card hand management.
Yeah.
You get 5 cards. They can't change order. You're allowed to play the far left card, and the far right card is your action. When you play it, you get to draw a card at the end of your turn, basically, and it's going to go in the middle. So as you play a card, you got 4. Now you put the new card in between the 2 sets, and then that's your new actions on the ends. So it's kind of like a planning ahead of time. Like, I can do this, then this card's going to come out, but I can't do that 3 unless I play the right card kind of deal. But I was pretty impressed by this game.
Yeah.
I think what I was going to tell you is that this, honestly, is like a very, very awesome gateway game because it takes that roll and move mechanic and replaces it with a really fun mechanism of the card hand management stuff.
Right. It's random, but you also can plan for what's coming up and how you're going to use those movements.
Yeah. So
you start out with 2 meeples, and during different spots on the board, once you pass it, another meeple kind of like spawns at the entrance. So at the end of the game, or closer to the end of the game, you have like 5 meeples on the board.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So you have,
and you want to move them too because at the end of the game, each space has a point value to it that they'll score for being that far in.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to move all your meeples. You can't really neglect them, otherwise they'll be worth 0 points at the end.
And they're not always linear, as in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 points. Like some of those spots are 0, so you might want to be there, but by the end of the game, you want to move them so they do give you points.
Yeah. So it's not super deep. It's not super strategic. It does have some strategy and has a little bit. You are planning ahead. You're not just reacting to every card that you draw.
Right.
And otherwise, if you put it in context of gateway games, I think it's superb.
No, yeah, definitely a great family game.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we'll play it a few more times.
Right.
Did it look interesting? I think you said you watched some video about it.
Oh, yep.
No, didn't look interesting though.
No, I had my nose on the filter here.
I did tell Travis. I sat down and I was like, I don't know about this. I should have said I had a bad feeling about this, but I missed that opportunity.
Yeah. So did Brandon Johnson.
I was gonna say it and Matt didn't. Awesome. So we played some tournaments here. We played Pandemic Survival twice.
Mm-hmm.
Eric and I let me just say this. We're not doing the survival part, or we're doing the survival part awesome.
Right.
We're super efficient.
We are.
Apparently it's about getting cures though.
No, but not the first time we played it. The first time it was about survival.
Right.
It was basically the person that
The team
won, or the team that won was the one that could survive the longest because it was just pumping out the epidemics and hitting us pretty hard. So this year we decided we're gonna be super conservative and make sure that doesn't happen to us. But both these games ended up with people getting up to 4 cures.
The first game ended completely ridiculous. Like, I think they had like all 4 cures, but they had 9 areas that were almost outbroken.
Right. They were teetering on the edge.
Yeah, but they finished it so fast, I felt like I wasted money.
Yeah.
I mean, congrats to them, though. I will say that the class support was garbage.
Yeah, I know.
It was so bad. It was like a notebook with a
Just
pan-
for that, or
Yeah.
okay.
So the first place winners, obviously, I think they get a badge to Gen Con and stuff like that.
Right.
That's probably where the actual prize support
Yeah.
comes from. But otherwise, you get like a notepad with a pen, and the notepad had the
Well,
Pandemic Survival.
Saboteur.
The pen was kind of cool. It was like a little syringe pen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You can mass market. Those are mass marketed.
Yeah, you probably could get it for-
Hospitals put their name on it. We see them all the time at trade shows for the business things that we go to.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but
Lexicon added stuff to it anyway to, bolster the prize. You get a game.
yeah, they gave 2 games out. So Lexicon stepped up the game. But anyway, it was really fun. Yeah, stepped up the game. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to playing it more.
Yeah.
I might try to track these down. Let's do them all. We're gonna win eventually.
Yeah. It would just take some time.
We played the Diamonds tournament. Eric and I both placed in the top. We both got a copy of the game. Did you won that one?
I am the state champ.
Eric's the state champ of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
For Diamonds
For diamonds.
in
Yeah.
2018. Nevermore, we played that. We both got copies of that.
And
Eric-
I am
And
the
Eric is
the
Go ahead.
state champ for 2017 and 2018. So I had to go over there and defend my title.
Yeah, so comment funny comments on Eric's picture on Instagram. We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
I doubt it will. Other than unless they don't follow us and they put like a thumbs up. This is awesome. Okay, bot. Well, anyway, we played, or I didn't play this, but Hiroshima Hex.
Yeah. There was only 2 of us at the tournament, so I came in second
oh
by 1 point. I could have 3 trophies.
But what's really nice though is they had like, I think it's nice because it worked out for me and it worked
Yeah.
out for you. But they had tournament kits, right? This is totally weird because it didn't come with a box, so you don't win a copy of the game. You win a. She gave out the tournament kits to us,
Yeah.
and the tournament kits are literally like 2 printed boards on like not like a board that you would normally play on, but a thin like a player board.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you had like all the punch, outs for the for your faction, little tokens and stuff like that. But
Which all 4 factions.
it had all 4 factions. The only bad thing is the player boards with all your referencing and stuff like that was printed out, and the rule book was printed out, and there was only 1 copy of the rule book. Although
Didn't you give us? I think we all got a copy of the rulebook though.
I think it.
Are you sure?
No, I don't think it came with it. No.
Okay.
But the thing is, I already have the 2nd edition, and I just stuffed everything in that box. So
Right.
now I've got like 2 whole sets of factions because they're totally different graphics because it's the 3.0 graphics.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've got 2 sets of the factions. I have 3 boards that I can play on functionally. Because it's not like I printed a board. It's still a pretty nice board.
Yeah, that's decent.
I mean, Terraforming Mars did it.
That's right. They got away with it.
I had to trim it a little bit to fit them in the box, though.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. The only bad thing about it is the player references just being, an 8.5 sheet of paper. I cut them down to where, it's just the graphic,
Mm-hmm.
but they are really thin. But I might reprint them on thicker cardstock. Just throw it in there. Either way, though, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It would have been cooler if it was the full game. If I didn't own the 2nd edition, I would have been like, what is this?
Right. But we both have the 2nd edition, so we have a home for it.
Yeah. And I've already got expansions and stuff, so I didn't plan on upgrading anyway, and this just kind of helped out. Ice Cool, we played the Ice Cool tournament. I think that may have had the biggest turnout.
Yeah,
16
it
people,
was-
I think.
Oh,
A lot
wow.
of people, yeah. I came in 2nd.
Oh.
Almost. Actually, I would have liked to win this one because the trophy for it was nice looking.
Really?
Like all the other trophies were kind of generic,
Right.
but the Ice Cool tournament trophy was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was like an acrylic trophy. It was a big circle. It actually had Ice Cool, not
Right.
like engraved, but an actual like graphic that they put on there.
And a little penguin.
A little 3D penguin that's on there. It was pretty nice. It had a plaque on it too. Like the engraved plaque.
Right.
It was really nice. It was worth trying just for the trophy.
Yeah.
because it's not like a bowling trophy with stars on it.
Yeah.
And the prize, I mean, the top 4 got a copy of the game. There was a little 6-year-old kid I was probably just going to give mine to because he looked like he had so much fun, and he kind of reminded me of Theron the way he talked. Because he always say, I'm sure this is just kids in general, but he always says the same thing like 5 times in a row. Theron's always like, I want to play that game. I want to play that game. I want to play that game. It's really funny. So anyway, that was pretty cool. And the promos, they gave out promos for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What else? We have Skull King. I did terrible.
I got to sit at the final table.
The crazy epic Skull King finale.
Yeah.
Is that what the big tie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Thing?
ended up tying. Is like, it was a 3-way tie. I was on the bottom of the 3-way, so I had like 320 points, and they all had 340 points. So we had to play a bonus round, and after that bonus round, 2 people were still tied, so we had to play another bonus round. I had to take some risk, so I came in 4th.
I set up the podcast and was waiting diligently. That's not right. I was waiting patiently. Quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
That took forever. But it was epic. Mark maintained his title like 3 or 4 years in a row or something like that.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
He is the Skull King. The last tournament we played was was not supposed to be as long as I think it is, but we played Crokinole.
A Swiss tournament. I know what a Swiss tournament is.
We played
now.
Crokinole for
Yeah.
like 5 hours, Matt.
Really? How many people were in it?
11?
Yeah, 11.
How long does that game take?
Well, if you're
It
playing
depends.
Jason, it takes about an hour.
And it's not that because he's slow. It's just because it works like cornhole, where you flick your discs and stuff,
Yeah.
and then you subtract each other's points
Right.
until only one person ends up with
Is
positive
he
points.
playing like super defensive, I guess, or
It just every time
I don't
he's
know.
playing a game, it's everybody. You play until 100 points, but you can
Right.
play the game multiple times.
Right.
Like if we were playing, and then I, you had one disc more than me on the board. Each area is worth a different amount of points. So if you net 5 points on that round, then we play another round, and we
Right.
play until somebody gets 100.
Yeah.
You play against one of the veterans, they just one shot you. You
Yeah.
play against Jason, you play him like 10 games in a row.
Right.
So
So at the end, he still had 3 games to play, and everybody else was done.
poor Jason. Although to his defense, he needed to go back to the hotel room, pack up, and go check out.
Oh, yeah. So he did have a little bit of time away. He had to come back and finish up.
But it did seem like everybody he played against, he just totally just adapted to their skill level.
Mhm.
So like no one was ever scoring points. It was either 0
Yeah.
points or somebody scored
5
5
points
or 10.
points. Yeah.
It was really funny. I'm buying Crokinole.
Really?
Matt.
I am probably gonna get Crokinole as well.
Wow.
It is ridiculously fun.
It is. It's a superb game.
Yeah. At first I was like, dang it, Eric. Only like 3-4 people showed up to the Dimension tournament on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I really want Dimension. I could have
We could have easily got a copy of that.
Yeah. So like 30 minutes into playing Crokinole, I'm like, Eric, what have you done? But then 4 hours into playing Crokinole, I was like, that might have been the funnest time I had at the convention.
It didn't feel like 5 or 6 hours that we played it. It felt, maybe 2 hours.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
You played a lot of games, but each person you may have played it 2 or 3 times with because, you have to play a full game in order to get points or whatever.
Right.
Man, I flicked so many discs that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool because each board plays differently based on like the wood and stuff and the laminate. Or
Oh, right.
if
I
they
can
put
see that. Yeah.
the
pegs.
carom powder.
Oh, that powder. Also the pegs. Some of them had like wooden pegs. Some of them had metal pegs, and others had lip bumpers.
Yeah, it's super good. I'm not usually a person with abstracts or whatever for abstracts, but
Oh, this.
give me a dexterity game. It's
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, the vendor area was okay as it
Yeah.
always is. It's not the attraction anyway.
I heard Bob from Texas was
He
made a
was still
return.
there, yeah.
He's
He
still
wa-
there.
He was there.
Gary got some games from
That's
him.
what I heard.
Yeah.
I had an interesting first visit to his booth with the other person that worked there. So I'm basically like, this game looked cool. I was like, tell me about it. He's like, oh, this game is cool. It's good. You got these cards. They do stuff. You can tell me no, man. You can tell me you've not played it. I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a recommendation, but it was really funny because it was like 10 minutes long. So I'm not going to go through it, but it was like, okay, I have totally understood from the beginning of this conversation you have not played this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else, Eric?
No. We had those. We looked at those. What is it called? The people that made the Catan wooden board.
Oh, wow.
Catan
Yeah.
tournament.
Monk? What was it?
Something Monk.
I thought I had my badge around here
It's
somewhere.
Thinking Monk, I think.
Thinking Monk, yeah.
Right. So they were pretty cool. They had a pretty nice setup on what they're making. They're gonna kickstart pretty soon. They also, like I said, made this awesome looking wooden board for Catan.
The RPG box.
Yeah, the RPG box.
Let me tell you about this, Matt. I mean, I don't play a lot of RPGs, but I seriously want one. So on Kickstarter, they always make those little boxes that hold your like
your die set.
polyhedral set.
Yeah.
Well, this one is like that, but it has another box that goes around it. So when you take that apart, it clicks together and makes a dice box to roll the dice from the chamber into.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It was like super cool. I thought about I might buy one just because of how cool it is. I'm sure they're expensive because they're handmade, but you know, it was really cool.
Were they in the vendor area?
Yeah, they were in the vendor.
So they brought the vendor area. Them and the popcorn people brought the vendor area
Up a little bit.
up a little bit. Yeah.
I was,
The popcorn people, they make some good popcorn.
was the vendor area about the same size as last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly the same size.
Really?
More game. I think there was very little non-game related vendors.
Last year was very like the guy selling all the masks and everything,
and the art.
Was there an art vendor there? I guess?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah.
There's an art vendor in the hallway.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Close to
well,
the play
I don't-
area.
Those are always kind of like the same people, though.
Yeah.
The
They
ones
are.
in the vendor area, though, I think most of it was game stores,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. I don't know. I don't know about going to a game store or a vendor area at a convention for a game store buying games at full retail price.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're wasting your time, honestly, because people this day and age, they're going to support their local game store by actually going to their game store and playing there. I'm not going to buy a game full retail just because you're at a convention, unless it's something super out of print or something.
Or it's brand new and you have a hard time finding it somewhere else.
You're probably just taking a chance on someone that's a first time convention goer.
Yeah, I see that.
Maybe it's new to them, and on an impulse buy something from you. I think.
I guess if you're local, that might make sense, but I don't go to Gen Con or Origins and do that. It's a little different though because they have new releases and they're not out in retail at that point.
Right.
But these people are just bringing games that have been out for years,
Mm-hmm.
selling them at full retail. Like that game, I've seen this game on clearance. Do your research.
Right.
No offense to them, that's fine. But I'm saying like, it doesn't make a good. Does that make a good business decision?
I wouldn't think so. Probably not.
We'll see if they come back.
They'll be back.
It ever worked. It either worked for them or it didn't. I'd like to think if it didn't, they wouldn't return. But
Yeah. Well, they had a little clearance area, and I thought about buying some things, but they're expansions for like zombies and medieval.
yeah,
It's like, I don't know. Maybe. I didn't end up doing it, though. Anyway, best of luck to them. I'm just saying that. It just makes no sense to me. But otherwise, I thought it was a good convention.
Oh, yeah. Great convention. Well, I'll be back next year.
What'd you think about the hands on your head, hands on your tails?
I actually like that, yeah. It's a good way to get a lot of people involved in something that's pretty simple.
So they brought out a megaphone. It was like, hey, everybody, a couple hundred people.
yeah.
We're going to play a game. Everybody stand up. Basically, put your hands on your head or put it on your butt. And they're going to
Your
flip
tail.
tail. They're going to flip a coin. And if you guessed right, you get to stay in. Otherwise, you have to sit down.
Okay.
And then they lowered and lowered and lowered until there was a like top 8 kind of deal. It ended up only being 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was 1 away.
Yep, you and Gary.
Yeah, me and Gary. And then, so those people got prizes or whatever. Here's what I think they should do.
What's that?
Paper, rock, scissors. Everybody versus that guy.
Yeah, that would be good. I like paper, rock, scissors.
It might be a couple more rounds because you have you can tie with them as well. So it's like 2 out of 3 chances that you're going to stay up.
No, it would be less rounds because you get rid of more people. Because you're getting rid of heads or tails, you're getting rid of 50% of the people. Rock, paper, scissors, you're getting rid of 2/3.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, what happens if you throw the same thing though?
Well, then you stay.
No,
That's how you stay.
well, you only get rid of a third then, because you either tie or you beat them.
That's what I said.
You're right. You're right.
I was like, am I not thinking this through?
Man, I didn't think it through. Okay, never mind.
So that would be cool, and they can also do it to where they have like stuffed animal, like a big plushie of a rock, paper, and scissors, and have it in a bag, and it's like, instead of just like throwing it up in the air,
Right.
they can just pull out something. So everybody can make their decision and hold it up in the air, and then they would pull that out of the bag.
Right.
Because if everybody's throwing it at the same time, people
People would change it.
get changey. Yeah. Cheaty.
It's not going to work when you get to lower counts, but yeah, definitely at the beginning, you'll probably see a lot of changing.
Yeah. So overall, though, I did think it was a good convention. They need to rent a good PA system next time.
Yeah.
That PA is garbage.
Was he pulling the thing around again?
He actually wasn't there. He got married.
Yeah, he's getting married.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Or he's getting married. Yeah. I think it was that day he got married.
Really? Okay.
I don't know why. He's like the entertainment, the
Yeah.
MC
Yeah.
for
Every year.
5 years now or something, and he chose the day of Lexicon to get married. I don't know about that, but anyway, I'm looking forward to it again next year and other little offshoot cons as well.
Sin City Con.
That's a maybe. Although that's probably that's up there. CharCon is a maybe, but I don't think that's ran by them anyway, is it?
I don't know. Actually,
Is it?
they might be affiliated with some of the people that run it, but maybe not them directly.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was on the back of the badge. It said CharCon and Sin City
All right,
Con.
maybe I think they might have came
Like
together,
partnershiped with them or something?
partnershiped a little bit more, right?
Gotcha. Well, anyway, anything else you want to bring up with it?
No, that's it.
Any questions, Matt?
Mm-mm.
Cool. We ate at Cracker Barrel. That is
That's what I heard.
that's the tradition there now.
Mhm.
Yeah.